Well, I wasn't planning on this, but then I watched this movie. Uh, Welcome to the impromptu inaugural episode of So Bad It's Good Cinema. I'm Scotty, and you're not. And, yeah, like I said, I wasn't planning on it, but I watched this movie. And when it started, I was like, okay, this is a little weird, but it's fine. I'm enjoying this movie. I'll do it straight laced. And then there's a certain part of this movie that it really just sunk in that this was not a straightforward review. This film. Okay, in case you didn't know, this is one of two Bruce Willis films that I know of. They got the pleasure of receiving the worst picture award at the Razzies. The other one being Color of Night, which I don't own yet, but I plan on getting at some point. I picked this because I plan on doing a Bruce Willis week, theme week, and so I figured this one would be all right. Not knowing how weird of a movie it is, and for these So Bad It's Good movies, I'm not gonna list my. It's gonna be more of like an older style review where I just talk about the movie in chronological order. I'm not gonna list what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. But I will say this before I do start. I think Bruce Willis and Danny Aiello have good chemistry. If they're not in the film that long, that's like a big major gripe, like a problem if I'm gonna list problems. But other than that, let's start at the beginning. And I watched this on Tubi because I wanted to watch it concurrently while I was at work and stuff. So there's that. This movie starts with a storybook opening. And I'm going, oh, I think I hit the wrong movie or something. It's just, no, it's this movie. But it starts out like this, and that's where I got confused. I'm like, what is this movie? And I just kept asking myself throughout the entire film. And this storybook tells a story of back in 1481. There was a Leonardo da Vinci. He created this machine that's supposed to turn lead into bronze because he wanted to make this bronze statue. Well, it messed up and turned lead into gold. So, yeah, and he hid it. He decided to hide it, and he hid these three crystals that are supposed to activate and turn on the machine. We cut to exactly 500 years later, which according to the prologue here, makes it 1981, which won't make sense as we go forward because, well, you see, there's dialogue and other things that put it later than that. Eddie Hawkins, also known as Hudson Hawk, is getting released from prison after being in jail for 10 years. Being in there for 10 years for a robbery that was botched, He is brought out by his parole officer, who instantly offers him a job, to which he says no at first. And then his friend Tommy picks him up, and they have a discussion about what he's going to do, at which Tommy brings up Nintendo. Yes, what's Nintendo? Which is a question you'd ask if it was 1981, or if you've been in prison for 10 years. But the problem is, if this film takes place in 1981, Nintendo wouldn't exist yet. And that's not the last Nintendo joke we get. Trust me. So they go to Tommy's place, which is now a coffee shop for yuppies. And we get our first running gag in the film is that Hudson Hawk Eddie wants a cappuccino, and every time he tries, something happens. Like this time when he goes to take a drink, someone shoots it, and it turns out to be Frank Stallone and his partner here, who are Anthony Mario and who are brothers named Anthony Mario and Caesar Mario. Yes, that would make them the Mario Brothers. It was at this point I went, what is this movie? Again, I'm like, what is this movie? So it turns out that the job is for him to break into this museum and steal this porcelain horse that was made by Da Vinci, apparently, and take it to the guy in charge, this parole officer, I guess. So, with some hesitation, he and Tommy break in to the tune of Swing on a Star by Frank Sinatra. And there's another running gag in this film where it starts out with Tommy naming off songs, to which Eddie tells how long the movie is. And then later it goes into when anyone mentions a song, he'll say how long it is. And it was funny. It was funny when he was doing it back and forth with Tommy. Oh yeah, that's funny. But then the joke kind of doesn't work when someone just says, they mentioned a song by the Carpenters, 3 minutes and seconds, whatever. Like one of them, they even misquote the song, and he still says it. It's like, okay. So they go in, they sing Swinging on a Star. Tommy has put, re-looped the footage, but they did it wrong. So the 2 security guards see themselves in the footage and realize they're, that they're being robbed. But here's the thing though. Before they looped the footage, the fat security guard they scared the fat security guard, and he broke the chair that was sitting in front of one of the exhibits. In the footage that is looped, you can clearly see the chair is still unbroken. That should have been their tip-off, but they don't notice that until they see themselves on the screen. They're able to get away with the horse, jumping off of buildings, of course, and eventually bring the horse to the parole officer. The British butler named Alfred shows up and breaks the horse over the parole officer's head, revealing one of the crystals inside. The parole officer asks for his cut, and the butler slices his throat. Get it? You're cut. The Mario Brothers get it because they're like, "Oh, I think Eddie asked for a cut," and So Eddie, the next day, they read in the newspaper that it was an attempted robbery of the horse, and that the horse is still there. So Eddie goes to investigate, right? Figure out what's going on, where he meets Andy McDowell's character, Baba Yaga. I don't remember her name, to be honest. She's a nun. I don't remember her name. I'll just refer to her as Andy McDowell from now on. Where she identifies it as being authentic. And this is where I really started to feel the so bad goodness of this film. Because as they're bidding on this horse, Richard E. Grant comes in like this. 100 million clams! And then Sandra Bernhardt comes in after him, 100,000,001 clams! And I went, once again, what is this movie? They're the most eccentric couple in history. I was saying. They make him look subtle. And that's saying a lot. And, yeah, so, there's this thing where he's looking at well, that's later. But he's trying to figure out. Then there's an explosion. Because he notices there are people there, each with a candy bar in their pocket. Kit Kat, Almond Joy, a Butterfinger, and a Snickers. Which we do find out later are CIA operatives working for a crooked CIA guy played by... should be here somewhere. James Coburn. I've seen other things, older movies. was a CIA guy, crooked one. So, Eddie, there's the explosion. He saves Andy McDowell, but then gets knocked by another horse in the head, and he wakes up in an ambulance with the Mario brothers standing over him. And this part of the movie was exactly when I realized this had to be a So Bad It's Good cinema, because this is just... So he's in the ambulance. He tries to find his way out, and he ends up falling out the back of the ambulance, holding on to something which breaks, and so he's stringing down the freeway on a hospital gurney, stretcher, whatever you want to call it. And this is the exact moment he's stringing down, and he goes, "Oh no, a toll booth!" Reaches into his pocket, finds some change, throws it into the thing opens. The Mario brothers end up dying in an explosion because ambulances are explosive now, I guess, and he ends up going right into the hands of the CIA guy for some reason. The CIA says, "Hey, we need you to do something else." He's like, "No, I'm not doing it," and then gets knocked out. He's introduced to the other character, Kit Kat, who's played by David Caruso, who is a bit player in too many movies, I think. And his thing is he doesn't speak. He only communicates through index cards. And you have Almond Joy, who is the female African-American character. You have Kit Kat. Oh, that's him. You have Snickers, who does something, I don't know. And Butterfingers, played by Andrew Benarski. And as he goes to introduce himself, he walks out of a porta potty and gets his jacket stuck, knocks the whole thing over, and says, "I'm Butterfinger," to which Eddie replies, "Yeah, no kidding." Yeah, so those are, yeah. Yeah, so in another scene transition, okay, let me talk about the scene transitions. There's a couple of scene transitions that are very weird. First, when they go to steal the horse and they fall through an awning, he lands in the parole officer's office. And it's really quick, and it's like, what happened to Tommy? Oh, this actually takes place later, but we're going on Looney Tunes logic here. And when we get to the end, what happens to Tommy, it really is Looney Tunes logic. Let me tell you. Just saying it right now. This scene, he gets locked in a thing with styrofoam peanuts. And then it transitions, it shuts and then opens, and he's in Rome. And he gets told he's got to rob the Vatican, right? So he goes in to check out this diary that Da Vinci had. Try to check out the mechanics and mechanisms, whatever. And he meets up with Andy McDowell again, who works for the Vatican. And he throws this kid's little stuffed animal elephant thing or whatever into the thing and activates the thing, which also releases deadly gas, but she gets him out of there because she's the love interest, And yeah, they set up a dinner date, and he robs the place very quickly somehow and meets up the dinner date with her. The dinner date, which is still in the halls of the Vatican. Why wouldn't they go somewhere else? No, they do go somewhere else, and then thinking he's going to get laid, he says, "Check, please," and then goes back to her place, which is in the Vatican. So why would he do that? There's no logic in this movie. Turns out she's working with the CIA, who she doesn't know is crooked. Because he tries to get his cappuccino, and it's got poison foam that knocks him out. And, yeah. So Eddie wakes up somewhere else. And, being told, you gotta cooperate. We got one last job for you to do, so I'm not gonna do it. And, this is when we find out that Tommy is supposedly working for them. They have a fight, and Tommy fakes his death, but he's not dead, and they are able to escape. And they have one last piece. I guess they get it. But the I forget their names, the couple, Richard E. Grant and Sandra Barnhart, they kidnap Andy McDowell and take her to their castle. So it's up to Eddie and Tommy to break in and save her while singing another song, which is probably by Sinatra, I don't know, another song. Side by Side is the name of the song. But this one, not as good as the first one. There's not enough back and forth between them, but it's fine. And but Tommy gets pinched for them. I should mention that there was bombs, right? Bombs. That's right. I forgot. They are both that's Tommy and Eddie are taken hostage, and they are hit with these darts with curare, which is actually poison that could kill you, not make you loopy as this movie. But then again, this is Looney Tune logic we're going by. And, so they're all loopy. Andy McDowell gets paraded in. She gets shot with a dart. And, so they're more crazy. Yes. But they say, we got what we needed and we're going to go put it together. And they're left there. And they take Andy McDowell with them. But Eddie is able to outmaneuver them as they start getting their, because they're paralyzed and stuff. But they start to get their movements back, and they're able to kill one of them. Well, one gets paralyzed, the other one gets the bomb strapped to his head. Now, this is where there's a bit of a logic problem. So the guy says, when it's launched, you'll have 2 minutes left. You have 2 minutes of paralyzation. That's how long it lasts. And you'll have 15 seconds left to get out of there once the bomb goes off. But here's the thing. If the paralyzation only lasts just 2 minutes, they've already been paralyzed for quite a bit of time. Or maybe they said you have 2 minutes left of paralyzation. Who knows? But here's the thing. They shoot one of the things into the wall. It says 2 minutes. It goes to another one, and it gets attached to the guy's head. And the one on the guy's head goes off before the one that's in the wall, which doesn't make any sense because one was in the wall before the guy's head. So the one on the wall should have gone off first. But this is Looney Tunes logic. So they both go off at different times. Both of those are dead. And, Kit Kat and Butterfinger are the only ones left. And we get to the castle now. They do the side-by-side singing thing, and they go in. Butterfinger and Kit Kat are killed. And then the other... so I got itch. And so, Tommy goes after Alfred in the limo, and he gets locked in the limo. There's another bomb. And then it explodes if it goes off the hill, and supposedly Tommy dies. But again, Looney Tunes logic. Alfred's able to escape, but he dies when he's pushed onto his own swords. Eddie takes out the CIA guy, and it's down to them when the machine goes goofy because he misses a part. This is before everything goes down like that, but he takes a piece out. It doesn't put it in there, so it explodes, covering one of them in gold, which shouldn't work because it's only supposed to turn lead into gold. So I don't know. And the other one gets electrocuted to death. So the CIA guy's the only one left. He's killed. And as Eddie and Andy McDowell fly away on Da Vinci's flying machine, they land down, and lo and behold, Tommy is still alive. His reasoning, airbags, and a sprinkler system in the back. Bullshit, but Looney Tunes logic, right? Looney Tunes fucking logic. Looney Tunes logic. And finally, Eddie gets to have his cappuccino. From beginning to end, this movie was ridiculous. And this movie got a lot of hate when it came out because, it's a terrible movie. It won 3 Razzies, including Worst Picture. I don't think it deserved that. It is slapstick. It is goofy. It might even be a spoof type of movie. It is everything that so bad it's good entails it to be. I really enjoyed this, and I think Bruce Willis really this is like vintage Bruce Willis back in the days. Shortly after Die Hard 2, this is vintage Bruce Willis. He helped write this thing. I think one of the big problems that people might point out is that it in all good spoofs with Airplane or the Naked Gun movies, they're played straight. There's a lot of mugging in this, a lot of goofy stuff. There's a thing where when Andy McDowell is tied up, she starts saying weird things with a squeaky voice. I don't know, it's really weird. But I enjoyed this. So, with these reviews, not going to be a rating, obviously, because they're all going to be so bad it's good. But, yeah, if you like so bad it's good movies, like I do myself, check this out. It's on Tubi for at least the next couple days. So check it out there, but I got the DVD, so I can watch it whenever I want. With that in mind, it's time to pick up the next one. So this one will be remake. That's good. So this one's going to be remake. That means the last one, well, the second to last one will have to be Keanu Reeves. So, Hudson Hawk, have you seen it? What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. This has been So Bad It's Good Cinema, and I'll see you in the next one.